March 22nd, 20 to Torture, La Tortuga.
Venezuelan patrol submarine. But it's not the sub that triggers the alert. It's the two surface contacts converging from the east. Speed 22 knots. Flag of origin, Venezuela. On the bridge, the captain's hand hovers over the 1MC. General quarters.
This is not a drill!
Boots thunder through passageways. Hatches slamming dog tight. Damage control teams grab flash gear.
Fire hoses staged. Below decks, engineers bring gas turbines to combat power. 90,000 shaft horsepower ready to respond.
The destroyer's Aegis system paints both frigates in digital clarity.
Constitución-class.
And Aspide missile launchers. The tactical coordinator marks them Sierra 1 and 2. Range 14 nautical miles. Closing steady.
Course 280. Speed holding 22 knots. Then the air search radar spikes. New contact, airborne. Identification confirms it. Sukhoi Su-30 Mk2 flanker. Speed 450 knots. Altitude 12.
Classic pincer. They're boxing us in. Surface from east, air from south. And they know exactly what we're protecting.
Because Winston Churchill isn't here alone. Somewhere beneath these waters, 400 feet down,
Monitoring underwater fiber optic cables, tracking Venezuelan naval communications, mapping acoustic signatures. The destroyer's job is overwatch. Make sure it gets home clean. But Venezuela's Navy just figured out the play. And they're responding with coordinated multi-domain force.
This didn't start today. It started 2 weeks ago, March 8th, 2024. A U.S. Virginia-class submarine was detected near Venezuela's EEZ.
Monitoring underwater communications cables tied to Chinese infrastructure. Beijing had been laying fiber optic networks.
U.S. intelligence wanted to know what was flowing through those cables. Caracas filed a formal protest at the United Nations, accused the U.S. of violating sovereign maritime space. Washington responded with silence, but internally, U.S. Southern Command issued a directive. Continue submarine.
Show presence without provocation. That's why Churchill is here. Arleigh Burke-class destroyer. Named for Winston Spencer Churchill, the only person.
Her Mark 41 vertical launch cells hold 96 missiles. Tomahawks for land attack.
Bullets and VL ASROC anti-submarine rockets that can deliver torpedoes 15 miles from the ship.
It can track a baseball-sized object at 165 nautical miles while simultaneously guiding 18 missiles to target. It can engage a supersonic missile before human reaction time kicks in. That computational power is exactly why this moment is so dangerous. One weapons lock, one misread radar signature, and automated systems could initiate a firing sequence faster than any captain could countermand the order.
The Venezuelan frigates aren't helpless targets either. The Constitución-class was designed by Fincantieri, the same.
Each frigate displaces 2,600 tons and can hit 32 knots. Their Aspide surface-to-air.
Not enough to threaten Churchill at current distance, but if they close to 8 nautical miles, those missiles become a legitimate tactical problem.
Their 76mm Otobretta super rapid guns fire 120 rounds per minute. Effective range against
loaded with Whitehead A244/S torpedoes, designed to hunt submarines, but perfectly capable of targeting surface ships at close range.
And overhead, the Su-30 is a different beast entirely. Russian-built Sukhoi twin-engine air superiority fighter.
Venezuela purchased 24 of them between 2006 and 2009, part of a military modernization deal with Moscow.
NATO designation, AA-12 Adder. Active radar-guided, 80-kilometer range. But what makes U.S.
mounted under the wings, supersonic, sea-skimming, 50-kilometer range, designed specifically to penetrate Aegis defenses by flying low and fast.
The pilot circling above Churchill knows he doesn't need to fire. He just needs to be there. His radar emissions alone force the destroyer's combat system to classify him as a potential threat, which means Churchill's SM-2 missiles are now allocated to air defense, reducing capacity to counter the surface threat. It's tactical chess, and Venezuela just moved a knight. Inside Churchill's Combat Information Center, every screen glows red. The room is 30 feet long, bathed in blue light from 24 tactical displays.
The TAC surface contact's now 11 miles, fighter at 9 miles. Both frigates have activated fire control radars. Request permission to activate ANS SPG-62 illuminators.
The captain's response is immediate. Negative. Maintain search radars only. I want defensive posture, not escalation. Activating the SPG-62 illuminators would send a clear signal. We're preparing to launch missiles. That could trigger a Venezuela.
So instead, Churchill shows restraint, but not weakness. The weapons systems officer toggles the mark.
Not locked on, just visible. A steel suggestion that says we see ya. On the aft deck, the Phalanx close-in weapon system powers up with a mechanical wind.
6 rotating barrels, capable of 4,500 rounds per minute. Sailors call it the R2-D2 of death.
Right now it's in standby mode, but one command from CIC and it switches to auto-engage. On the flight deck, the alert Seahawk crew races through startup.
Call on Saint Jet Mission, Aerosol Silver League, flight 11 seconds, 982 on Caribbean.
The sensor operator toggles the infrared turret. Thermal bloom from the Su-30's engines fills the screen. 2 bright white exhaust plumes against cold sky.
Viking 12 to Churchill. Flanker is weapons hot. Confirm radar signature consistent with targeting mode. 2 KH-31s visible on wings. Pilot has not locked on. Every sailor in the CIC feels their pulse spike. Training kicks in. Breathing slows. Hands move across consoles with practiced precision.
But the captain's voice stays flat as steel.
Copy, Viking. Maintain observation. Do not provoke. If he illuminates us with targeting radar, notify immediately.
This is the wire every commander walks. Show weakness, you invite aggression. Show too much strength, you create the incident yourself.
The balance is measured in degrees of radar beam angle and milliseconds of decision time. On the bridge wing, the officer of the deck scans the horizon.
He can see them now. 2 gray shapes, hull down but visible. Venezuelan ensigns snapping in the wind.
Professional crews. Well-trained platforms. This isn't a third-rate Navy. It's a force that knows exactly what it's doing.
The communications officer opens a channel on bridge-to-bridge VHF, channel 16, international distress frequency.
Venezuelan naval vessels and aircraft.
This is United States warship operating in international waters. We are conducting lawful operations under freedom of navigation.
Silence. 5 seconds. 10, 20. The only sound on the bridge is the hum of ventilation and the soft ping of the radar sweep.
Then a response crackles through the overhead speaker. Heavily accented English, but clear, professional.
During anti-submarine patrol operations, we have detected underwater contact in our economic zone. Identify your vessel and state your mission.
The captain nods to the communications officer.
Venezuelan forces, this is USS Winston S, DDG-81.
Under freedom of navigation protocols and international law, we have no hostile intent. Another pause. The frigate's slow from 22.
Their fire control radars stop sweeping. The Su-30 banks left, no longer on intercept course, just shadowing at 6 miles.
It's not a retreat. It's a recalculation. Both sides have sent their messages. Venezuela?
United States, we have legal authority. We will not be intimidated. We can defend ourselves. What happens next determines whether this becomes a footnote
or a headline. Under U.S. Navy rules of engagement, Churchill's crew can only use force in response to hostile act or demonstrable hostile intent.
A radar lock-a-low doesn't qualify. It has to be paired with weapon release indicators, missile launch plume. It's the hardest thing for any combat crew to do. Absorb pressure without releasing it. The paradox of modern naval warfare is this. The most powerful ship wins by not shooting. Because once weapons are released, doctrine collapses into chaos.
That nobody intended to fight.
For the next 14 minutes, the standoff continues. Venezuelan frigates maintain parallel course at 8 nautical miles.
Close enough to monitor, far enough to avoid miscalculation. The Sukhoi circle overhead at 15,000.
Not locked, not threatening, just present. Churchill logs every radar sweep, every communication attempt.
Electronic warfare suite records every emission. Radar frequencies, pulse repetition rates, antenna scan patterns.
Intelligence that could prove critical if it ever goes hot.
In a secure operations center 7 time zones away,
Analysts watch the encounter unfold on wall-side screens.
4 General Electric LM-2500 turbines spinning at combat idle. If the order comes to run, this ship can hit 30 knots in under 90 seconds.
At 16:47 local time, the Venezuelan frigates execute a slow turn south. No radio acknowledgement. No formal disengagement protocol. Just a quiet withdrawal that says one thing. Point made. The Su-30 climbs to 18,000 feet, executes a lazy barrel roll, then peels west.
Back toward Margarita Island. A final show of capability. Viking 12 tracks him all the way to the 12-mile limit, then returns to Churchill's deck. Wheels touch steel. Rotors slow. The crew chief gives a thumbs up to the pilots. No words needed. Everyone knows what just happened.
Churchill maintains course and speed. The submarine she was protecting slips deeper into the Caribbean basin.
Mission complete, but nobody celebrates. The bridge watch section returns to normal steaming. Coffee appears from somewhere. Helmsman cracks a joke.
But underneath the surface calm, every sailor knows they just walked a tightrope over a very deep drop.
And both sides passed. Venezuela proved it can coordinate naval and air response against U.S. submarine operations.
And the ability to operate in multi-domain environments. The United States proved it won't be intimidated out of waters it has ever.
But it also showed it won't be provoked into escalation. That restraint, that professional discipline, is what separates great navies from dangerous ones.
For analysts in Washington, this encounter gets filed under gray zone operations, the space between peace and war where most modern conflict actually lives.
It's competition without combat, posturing without shooting, strategy expressed through presence and restraint.
For the sailors aboard Churchill, it's just another day in the Caribbean. They'll write it up in the deck log. Time, location, contacts, actions.
By tomorrow, it'll be classified and filed away. But the next time Venezuelan radar picks up a U.S. submarine signature, they'll remember this moment.
And the next time Churchill sails these waters, Venezuela will remember too. That's how deterrence works, not through threats.
The question is, how long can both sides keep playing this game without someone miscalculating? So here's the question I want to put to you.
If you were in command of the Winston Churchill that afternoon, would you have activated fire control radars as a deterrent signal, or stayed defensive like the captain did?
Drop your tactical assessment in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious where you stand on this, and if you want to go deeper into real maritime operations. Support this channel by hitting that join button. You'll get loyalty badges, priority responses to comments, and behind-the-scenes access to how we research these stories.
Plus, you'll be directly supporting independent naval journalism that doesn't answer to defense contractors or governments. Just head back to the channel page and click join to get on board.
Fair wind, sailors. And remember, the best fights are the ones you never have. The strongest signal is the one you don't have to send. I'll see you in the next one.